YouTube channel near you.
Well, Tio Rio, I knew he was going to slide in on me today. Hello there, Roger Blair, Val, Cal Smith, Crystal, Denise. Hello, everybody. Hello, Leonard. Keep those funny memes coming. I love it. So welcome, everybody, to another edition. And Barb's got a lineup today, don't you, Barb?
Yes, I do. How are you doing today, Grizzly?
Oh, doing good. I figured everything out last night after hours on the Mac, but yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know. Yeah. What a pain new technology can be.
Yeah, right. So welcome everybody, BF Bud and everybody. So what we got going on today? Hello, Cheyenne, Paranormal Pixie.
Yeah,
yes,
we got
welcome.
Gosh, a whole bunch of people. Thank you so much for being here. Today we have Tim and Waynette Turner from Florida. And probably a lot of you know them and are friends with them and follow them. Tim just recently spoke at the recent Bigfoot conference in Florida, and so let's bring him down.
Welcome, come on down. How you doing there?
Hi, everyone. So if you two want to just introduce yourselves.
Yeah, I'm Tim T in Florida. So I've been a researcher here since 2019, and I actually started off not wanting to be a researcher. I was just starting off searching for the truth, wanting to know if these beings were really out there, were really true. And then the more I kept searching and finding evidence, I actually just went ahead and became to me, I just went ahead and realized I was a researcher. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing that. Yeah. Here in Central Florida, a lot of it's in the Green Swamp, around a couple of river systems here.
You have a lot of experience in other areas of your life, right? That I need to plug in my computer. Sorry.
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah. Well,
So tell us about that. Yeah, because you really can use that in your research.
Yeah, I'm a military veteran, and also I've been hunting
your service,
and fishing and outdoor stuff all my life. So that's how I actually started, because I started using all my hunting skills, the tracking. I've been able to track them a lot, find the different areas they live in by finding their footprints, their tree structures, and tracking's a lot more than just finding footprints, but finding the areas that they're staying in a lot, and then being able to keep going back to those areas and finding them still there. There's one area where I really first started, and I've been seeing them grow. They've been growing, like their first footprints when I was finding 6-inch footprints and 9-inch footprints. Now they're 11-inch footprints, 14-inch footprints, 16-inch footprints. So that cool. One area there, they kept growing and growing the whole time I kept going out there for over a couple of years. So yeah, cool. now I'm kind of moving into more of the quantum physics and quantum entanglement, and learning a lot more about that. And that's helping us to be able to do stuff with experiments and testing. I try to do a lot of scientific stuff, but yet I still try to show a lot of woodsman stuff, a lot of experiences out in the field, and trying to combine a lot of it.
Waynette, how did you get involved? Is it something that you were interested in?
Well, I had something happen to me when I was a teenager as well.
In her family.
In my family, yeah.
Just tell us. I want to hear this.
Okay. Well, it's just, I'm going to make it short and sweet because I've told you so many times, but it's just, we lived in a mobile home, and we were up late one night. It was actually just me, my sister, and my mom, and we were playing games. We love to play board games. And then all of a sudden I always say heard, but then I say felt like heavy footsteps, something heavy walking outside. So we got up and we're investigating, what could that be? And so we go, we would walk to one end of the trailer, and whatever it was out there would go to the end of the trailer while jarring the trailer.
Yes.
And we'd go the other way, and it would do the same thing. And that just went on for probably about 10 minutes. And then at one point, something actually jiggled the back door.
Oh my gosh.
And then after that, it pretty much was done with.
Yeah, her mom went and got the shotgun.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
we weren't even thinking about Bigfoot or nothing like that, or
No, not back in those days.
not back,
no.
and there was other encounters out there too from other people in that area. So and then after that, I didn't think too much about it till we started, like I say, in 2019, and I'm thinking back. That had to, what was that? So I got right into it as well.
Well, they lived around orange groves.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
A lot of them were young trees, about 6 foot tall. And two of her brothers were out riding a car around out there in the orange grove because, they were young boys. They couldn't drive on the road, so they would drive around out in the orange
Just
grove.
for kick.
Well, apparently they made one of them mad. They had one come up to the back of the car and started bouncing the back of the car, and then they'd hurry it up.
But they could see a figure, some kind of, is that nighttime? They could see some kind of figure back there, and one of them was like taking a pit stop. He's like, get in the car, and they got out of there. they left.
Another one. Another one of her brothers was at the house one day, and he actually seen one.
And that was at nighttime as well.
Well, he's seen one. Yeah. He could see his head up above the orange trees.
Yeah, it was taller than the orange trees.
They were 6 foot tall orange trees.
Yeah.
He could see his head above the orange trees. He still remembers it. He said it's just as clear as when it happened back then. Yeah. He still remembers it. Yeah.
And all those orange trees and everything now is gone. There's houses there. It looks totally different now.
Wow. Yeah.
A lot of the orange groves are going away here.
Yeah,
Building a lot of houses.
A shame too when that happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you think that they? So that sounds like a healthy population. Any idea where they would have kind of moved on to? Do you have any idea?
I think because of our climate here in Florida, and because of all the big food source we have out in those woods and our swamps, I don't think they really move off. I think if anything, they just kind of follow the animals around. The wild hogs, they'll move around a lot feeding, and I think they follow the wild hogs a lot. That's their main food source. But I don't think they migrate. I don't think they move to like other states unless they're actually moving like through portals, going and coming. Because I've had I want to talk about this one. We had this archery hunter. This archery hunter had took us out a couple years ago and showed us where he's seen one that's been called Big Red. Quite a few people have seen it and called it, and they've named it Big Red. So he took us out and showed it to us, the area where he's seen it. It stepped out on the trail while he was archery hunting. He was out there trying to shoot a hog. It stepped out on the trail, and he said it was within 15 yards of him. And he said the only thing he could think of was he's dead. The hunter, Tommy.
He thought he was
dead. He thought he was dead. He thought it was fixing to kill him and eat him. Because it was so close to him and it was so huge. He said it made Arnold Schwarzenegger look like a kid.
Wow.
They named it Big Red. And him and his family have seen other ones out there. They took us around and showed us where it was. And
that was
so that's actually leading me into this story here. I want to tell the story. This is quantum entanglement, because quantum entanglement also happens with people. So we were at the Bigfoot conference. I was up on the stage. There was like 6 of us that were local researchers. We were up there, the very first ones on stage, and we had another guy that was like head over the round table, and he was asking us a number of questions. It was kind of like a live podcast, really. He would ask us questions, and each one of us would answer that question and what we thought and felt about the different questions. So one of the questions he asked was about the size of the Bigfoots and Skunkapes here in Florida. So I brought up Big Red and was talking about Big Red and how large he is. All right, so they gave us the table when we were speaking like that. They gave us the table. So I had when I was done speaking, I went back to my table there, and I had a bunch of stuff on there to give away because I don't sell anything. So I just had a whole bunch of stuff on the table to give away. Pins with my name on them, stickers. I had the Bigfoot tattoos, the temporary tattoos.
Yeah, that's fun.
Those went really good. They were real popular. Yeah. So while I'm at my table, Tommy comes up to my table. He was at the conference, the archery hunter. he come up to my table. So we were talking about Big Red. He was telling us him and his son were there, and his son had seen another one that was even bigger, a white one that was even bigger.
Wow.
So his son was telling us about it. So this lady comes up to the table while Tommy's there with me. She said, and she asked me, she said, I want to know why you mentioned Big Red when you were up on the stage. And then she said, after you tell me, then I'll tell you something. So I told her, I introduced her to Tommy. I said, this is the man that actually seen it. And so when I was introducing him, and I told her about Big Red and that a lot of people have seen it. And then she started to walk away, and her husband made her come back over. So she went ahead and told me. She said she was a medium, and that she said that she usually talks with angels, like communicates with angels. And she said that a couple of days before this Sasquatch, she said this don't normally happen. A Sasquatch came in to talk to her, or like came in telepathically.
Whoa.
And he told her his name was Big Red.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
Whoa.
So this is an example of quantum entanglement and with people. Yeah. So it was 4 of us standing there that were all combined and entangled in this. Yeah. And so now I have her information too. Now I'm going to get with her too and talk with her more too.
Wow.
And he's in the Green Swamp a lot. And one of the people that seen him was this guy was driving down the road in his pickup truck. And he seen this Big Red standing. He was actually pretty close to the road, but he was standing at a trail where there was a closed fence. And he said it was looking down the trail. It wasn't looking like out at the road or people driving by. He said it was looking down the road like it was looking for something or waiting for something. Described it like it was waiting for something. So we're wondering if it could have been waiting for a portal to open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
what got you involved in or led you to become involved in researching quantum physics and quantum entanglement?
From all the research I was doing, I've been using audio recorders, game cameras. I do a lot of filming with thermal cameras. I try to do a lot of scientific stuff. I do a lot of like forensic hair exams. I've learned how to do them myself. Look at them with the compound microscope.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot of stuff like that. Collect them forensically. So I'm trying to do a lot of stuff like that with data, with science, forensics, and so studying some of the quantum physics, because I was getting so much orbs. I was catching orbs on thermal cameras when we couldn't see them with our eyes, but they're giving off heat. And I was catching orbs a lot with the game cameras, and especially at night. I've caught some during the day, and I catch a lot at night with the game cameras, and they're it's like they're giving off an energy, and the IR light shines on them at night with the game camera, and it illuminates them. So I actually have them where they look white because of the IR light hitting them, but I also have them look black.
Wow.
So the IR light is not illuminating them, and they look black at night sometimes. Yeah, but yet you can see it's a big round ball of energy. So
we have a question. Can you explain the difference between quantum physics and quantum entanglement?
Yeah, quantum physics. And there's actually a lot of mathematics and stuff with quantum physics that most people, you don't have to really worry about looking into all that. You don't have to be a great math person. I don't worry that much about all the equations and stuff. I'm learning more about how the protons and neutrons and electrons, how all that works. But with quantum entanglement, something can be here on Earth and then be at the other side of the galaxy, and it'll happen at the same time. It'll have the same measurements, or it'll have the same movements. Like you can see one thing here, and you'll know it's doing the same thing on the other end of the galaxy or another star system. Wow. And that's actually quantum entanglement, where quantum physics is actually bringing us a lot of our technology we have today. We have the like I work in construction. I do cabinets, so I have a laser level that we use to level our cabinets up. And the laser level is here today because of the quantum physics technology. The LiDAR, a lot of people are starting to see LiDAR, like the Skinwalker Ranch. They're showing a lot of stuff with LiDAR. All that technology is here today because of quantum physics.
Wow.
Some of the new phones, like the iPhone 15s, have LiDAR in their phone in the camera. Yeah,
Wow.
stuff like that. The cars that drive themselves, they have a LiDAR system in that. So those cars driving themselves are here now because of the quantum physics, the science of the quantum physics. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that we have now. There's IBM has a supercomputer. It's actually a quantum computer called the Eagle. Google has a quantum computer. There's a lot of stuff we have today now because of the computers like that, because of quantum physics. Yeah.
Very interesting. So what else do you want to tell? What else should we talk about? Because I know that you definitely, there were things that you wanted to go, we want to get this in because it's such interesting.
Yeah, I have
stuff.
a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
We recently there was actually 5 of us back on Memorial Day weekend that went out into the Green Swamp and did a bunch of tests. We were doing experiments and tests. A lot of the same stuff they're doing on Skinwalker Ranch, we were doing out in Green Swamp, and we were getting results. And this is the kind of science stuff that we're trying to do and trying to move forward with. Yeah, we're not just getting out in the woods and knocking on trees and stuff like that, which I don't do that anyway. I don't go out there and knock on trees. I do a lot of tracking. I do tracking videos, teaching people. I try to do a lot of teaching in my videos. Yeah. So actually, we were out in the Green Swamp. There was a team of 5 of us. Chris Connor from the Trail to Bigfoot, Chris Reinhardt from Discover Sasquatch, Bud. He's on here, BF Bud. Him from his channel, Fun Adventures with Bud and Angie.
Awesome.
Joey, a friend of ours, Joey Bruce. He does Florida Lone Wolf. And Joey has a lot of interactions with orbs and UFOs.
Nice.
And he was a big part of our research too. Yeah. So we were doing a lot of stuff with that. Chris Connor has a lot of technology he was using, doing tests, and we were getting results a lot like they do out there at Skinwalker Ranch and some of those areas out there. We were actually getting some of the same results. I've got starting to put a little bit of videos out now, and I was trying not to tell too much about the what we were actually getting, the results, because they're putting a documentary together.
Oh, nice. Okay,
So I'm showing a little bit of stuff on my channel, and I have a lot more to show. I'm just now starting to go through some of my footage, and so we have a lot to show. So I've been flying the drone quite a bit now. I'm not real great at it, but it's helping a lot. It's giving me a lot of good footage. Yeah, and also when we went to the Bigfoot conference, our friends at Bigfoot World, Kathy and Pam and James, they had Jason Kinsey was down, and
nice.
they were taking him out, and we went out and spent that Saturday night and then Sunday with them and Jason Kinsey as well, filming and doing a lot of things. We came across a turtle because everything's so dry right now out here. We came across a turtle, and I was able to help work with me and all of us, and we saved its life.
Oh, that's
we got
nice.
it back to water where it was fixing to die out on a trail on a road.
Oh,
We got it back to water and got it back to life. Yeah.
nice.
So a lot of things like
It
that
was
have
a
been
huge
happening.
soft shell turtle.
Yeah,
That's
real
what
big,
it
huge
was.
soft shell.
I think I saw that on Facebook. Wow.
Okay. Yeah, he
That
was
nice.
I guess he was trying to travel from one spot that had dried up, trying to find more
So
water.
dry out there.
He wouldn't have made it. Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
sad.
So I was able to wet him
yeah.
down and revive him, and then we were able to move him over and get him to a lake. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. Thank you for doing that. Somebody had asked, we have Tim and Waynette Taylor. right? Turner. Sorry. I'm like, that's not right. Like, that's not our name.
So when you go out in the woods,
wrong, not my second, right?
so when y'all go out in the woods, what kind of scientific test are y'all performing?
All right. For the biggest thing is for me is I've been using a tri-field meter. Now, I've got some videos too on my channel explaining the tri-field meter and what it does. It was actually invented for people to use in their houses because getting high radio frequency, like your microwave puts off, your cell phone router, or your Wi-Fi router, your cell phones, like when you're connected to Google or GPS, they put off real high radio frequency. So the cell phone towers, so people can use these and see if they're getting hit with a lot of radio frequency, especially if they live next to radio towers or cell phone towers. And then they can buy special material to make curtains. You can buy special paint to put on your walls that blocks that because it can make you sick. What it does is it causes friction in your tissues, and it can end up causing cancer. And a lot of people get sick from it. So that these were actually made to use in your homes. So I just wanted to clarify that too. We're not out there ghost hunting with the tri-field meter. Some people, I think, when we first started using it, thought we were ghost hunting with it. But it picks up radio frequency. It picks up magnetic, electric energy currents and electrical energy currents. The biggest thing is the radio frequency. Anything over 16 point and then like 16.00, there should be nothing out in the woods to cause that. And that's like standing in front of you right up next to your microwave with your microwave on while you're heating up something. That's how much actually radio frequency you get from your microwave. So when we're out in the woods, sometimes we're getting hit with that much and even higher radio frequency. Yeah. So it's I've come to think it's something actually scanning us.
Okay.
It's actually something that's scanning us when it's using that. And I don't know if it's a Bigfoot doing it. I don't know if it's a drone, a government drone or military drone, or if it's an alien drone. But I think something is scanning us when it's doing that. Some of the places we're getting into now, it could even be some kind of entity that's scanning us and it's using that. Yeah.
Did you get? I wonder were there? I'm trying to think. Were there videos that I think that you want? Did you want to show any of the videos?
Yeah, if you want to show the videos, yeah, I had a couple short videos there. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's get those up and. Oh, here we go. Yeah, team with a meter. Let's look at that one.
Yeah, it's going up now.
Yeah, radio frequency is maxing out. Yeah, this was when we were with the team here a few weeks ago out there in the Green Swamp.
Mine's higher than yours. That's weird.
Yeah, mine maxed out a couple times. Four of us are carrying these tri-field meters right there. Yeah. And once it hits dash 1000, it's maxed out. And that's the next number that it'll show. And we were getting hit with that quite a bit.
Okay.
A really high amount.
Wow. Let's see. Here's another one.
When I looked for the guy that does the satellite communications at 16 and above, nothing could be explained for that.
Okay. Yeah, that's Chris Reinhardt. Him and Chris Connor actually
16 point and
have actually called and talked to the manufacturers of the tri-field meter.
Drone following you from above.
Talk to satellite specialists.
Nothing in the forest that should register that. The guy, satellite communication guy.
Yeah, they're saying nothing in the forest should be that high readings on the radio frequency.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's really high. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's nothing in that forest. Wow, that is
No. Because the most I've ever got being within a couple of miles of a cell phone tower out in the woods, we'll get like a 0.025, 0.035, really low readings. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So what else then? What is your next? What else? Yeah. What else is your process? What do you like to use?
I really like using the thermal camera. The thermal camera was actually invented a long time ago with the infrared. because that's part of quantum physics. And it was actually developed because of the quantum physics. So now we have the thermal camera, which I found out when I first started looking into getting one, because I thought they were just to use at nighttime. So I found out when I started researching it that you can use it during the daytime as well. And the thermal camera works off of heat. So it doesn't work off of light like our normal cameras. Like the camcorder I use, it works off of light. So I do a lot of filming during the daytime with the camcorder, but I also do a lot of filming during the daytime with the thermal camera because it only works off of heat. So I'm picking up things out there that's giving off heat that we can't see with our own eyes. Yeah. I've had these, the Bigfoot Sasquatch, I've had them get within 25 yards of me and on thermal camera moving and get up close and watching us. And then I'll go back the next day and I'll film the same area again and get measurements and distances. And you can see there's nothing there like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
yeah, and I've seen some of your, and it's fantastic.
Daytime and nighttime.
I'm trying to see if we have, here's one thermal. Let me see. A video that you had sent. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. This is nighttime. This is during the really dark night, late at night.
And this is back in here. Is that definitely looks like a Sasquatch, right?
Yeah, you can see him moving around. He's definitely giving off heat. He's got a human looking head.
That is amazing.
It looks to me like he's got an animal on his shoulder. He's either got a deer or a coyote on his shoulder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not holding a little one, just carrying something. Okay.
I don't think he's holding his little one. No,
I don't. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see, look at that movement. That is just incredible.
And there's a couple of white objects there too that I think are orbs. They're not giving off heat, so they're showing up white. They're moving around. Okay. So that's another reason too. I think the Bigfoot and the orbs are connected. I think they're a type of energy. The orbs are a type of energy that they use, or either they use them or they have access to them. But yeah, I think there's a purpose for the orbs there being a type of energy.
And do you have any speculation on that? For what do you think it would be for the most they would?
I think they use the orbs to like a drone to move around and to see things, and also think they use them to travel. I think they can actually use them to travel. Yeah.
Wow, that we've heard that a lot, haven't we, Grizzly? And it really does seem like it's a plausible. Liana King would like to know, have you guys had any experiences with ETs or UFOs?
I haven't actually seen a UFO, but I have caught, because I've caught orbs quite a bit on the thermal camera and on game cameras. I caught a UFO on my game camera, and I actually caught it for 3 months in a row. It was around like the 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th of the month, each of the days of the month, for 3 months straight.
Wow.
And when I looked into the moon phases and stuff, the moon was on the other side of the world at that time, the time that I caught these, and that the UFO was lighting up the entire sky, and it would come down into the trail. You could see it come a couple times, come down into the trail in different areas.
Wow.
Yeah, it's coming down into the trees itself. Yeah. So I've had that. I've had actually the video you just showed. I've had reports of another person seeing a UFO twice at that same spot there. Wow. Yeah.
Interesting.
So I think the UFOs are connected as well.
Yeah. Wow.
Plus, I also have some of my thermal footage. Sometimes I think I catch a gray aliens.
Oh.
And
yeah, I would agree. Yes.
One of the places we just went to with that team. As soon as we walked in, I told them I feel like we're being watched. And when I looked through my thermal footage, it looks to me like there's a gray alien there. He's watching us, and we couldn't see him with our eyes. It was close enough we'd have been able to see him if he was if we could have seen him with our eyes. And it looks to me like he's got a suit, like a jumpsuit or a suit on.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And he's got the gray alien shaped head with the big eyes. Yeah.
Wow.
And the eyes really give off heat. When you're seeing these beings with the thermal camera, the eyes always give off heat. Sometimes these beings, I think they can control their temperatures. or at least to a point, control them.
I've heard of that. Yes, that
But
they
the eyes always give off heat. Yep.
Wow. War Criminal 7 would like to know after. So the Bigfoot that you caught on thermal that we just showed. After that thermal footage, did y'all back out, or did he move off? Did the Bigfoot move off?
No, we backed out.
Okay.
Because it was at the edge of a tree line and it was really thick. Yeah, and it was late at night.
Okay.
And actually, we moved back out. I didn't actually realize I caught him on there until the next day when I was going over my footage. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. That happens. Yeah.
And I figured he was about 9 foot tall. I was actually standing up on about a 3 to 4 foot mound of dirt that had been dug up years ago for a little road going through there, and it was right on the edge of the tree line. So I got up on that. So when I was looking through my thermal camera, I had it up to my eye. So figuring about that height plus my height, I figured he was about 9 foot tall.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you have the alien video anywhere that anybody can watch it? You have that somewhere posted?
Yeah, it's on my channel.
Okay, and then you want to tell everybody what your channel?
Yeah, my channel, Tim T in Florida.
Okay.
So if you look at my newest video where I'm getting ready to go out on that outing, at the end of it, I got a little bit of teaser videos, and it's right there at the end of that video, some of my thermal footage. Yeah. So I don't say on there, I don't claim it's an alien. I just show the footage and a couple of screenshots so people can look at it and they can decide for themselves if they think that's what it is or if they think it's something else. But I don't just come out and say, oh, that's an alien in my footage. So.
Yeah, so that's all right. So that's what you look for. And then your Facebook page is, if I can read you just go ahead and say your Facebook page. Yeah, because
Tim T. The Facebook page is.
Yes. Is it Bigfoot and Cryptid?
It's Bigfoot and Cryptid Research with Tim T. in Florida and Waynette.
Okay. Yep. All right. Yep. So there we go. All right. So what else do you want to tell us?
Let's see.
We can talk about your orb pictures that we got pulled up.
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. Grizzly,
yeah.
you want to pull some of those up? Yeah.
All right. Now these are all screenshots and pictures from my game cameras.
Okay.
Or these are pictures from my game camera. I do a lot of video. I don't actually take pictures. I do a lot of videos, and a lot of my pictures that I show are actually screenshots. But these are actually pictures from my game camera. So you can see that the white orb there.
Yes.
I had a game camera. It's right now it's sitting on top of a game camera. That game camera takes videos. I had it set to take videos, and I had a gifting area out in front of it. And I was leaving apples and candy bars. So every time I go in and look at my videos on that game camera, you could see the apples sitting there. You could see deer walking around. And then all of a sudden, the apples are gone in the next video. And the deer wasn't messing with them, but yet you couldn't see what took them.
Wow.
So what I did is I took another game camera out there and I set it to take photos, and I put it facing that game camera. And then I started catching the orbs on there. And I think it's an energy. I think it's going to the game camera. Sometimes I think they drain the batteries off of the game cameras.
For sure.
Now there's a black orb right there that's down towards the ground.
Oh wow! Yes. Oh, so that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's not showing up white because of the IR from the game camera.
Oh wow!
Yep.
That's
I found out the owls, the military night vision. They base their night vision devices off of the owl's eyesight.
Oh.
I have some of my game camera footage. I have photos, and you can see this owl. He keeps coming up in the tree right in front of my game camera, and then going down on the ground and eating. And I found out that because of the owls actually use IR, they use infrared to see at night. So the owl's actually using my infrared from the game camera to see better.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
He kept going down and eating, catching his food and eating right in front of the game camera.
Wow, that's cool.
Now, this is a tree structure. Actually, a friend of ours, Bigfoot Dave, he actually seen this first, and then we went over and investigated it.
Wow.
And part of this is actually knocked down because of Hurricane Ian.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, when Hurricane Ian came through, it knocked a little of it down.
Is that out in in the middle of a swamp? It looks like.
Yes,
Is that
it's up in the edge of a swamp. Yeah, Cypress Swamp. Yeah.
That's cool. That's really and very intricate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the best ones I've ever seen.
Wow.
And the first time I walked out there to it, we were getting real high radio frequency on the trifield meter too.
Oh,
the very first time I walked out there to it.
Wow. So is this hair
This
under
is a
my
Bigfoot hair, yeah. Because I've collected so much hair. I've collected hair from all the different animals here in Florida, all the different wild animals, also horses and cattle, done comparisons, used our own hairs too from us, me and my wife and my daughter, and done comparisons. And I've learned how to look at the hairs and what to look for. This is the outside of the hair, how it has a really rough structure on the outside. Our human hairs are really fine structured on the outside. And then all the different animals have a different type of structure on the outside. This is actually a Bigfoot Sasquatch hair right here. And this actually, I examined this for our friends at Bigfoot World.
What with the Bigfoot hair? What was the Sasquatch hair?
Yeah, the outside of it, how it's really how it's really rough textured.
Okay.
The
And then,
cuticle.
is there anything with the inside? Is there?
Yeah, the inside actually has a medulla.
Okay.
For us humans, our medulla is like really sparse, or we can have little or none.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then some of the animals have medulla.
Okay. Right. Yeah, that's very cool.
Yep.
Let me see
And
if I have any.
that other picture that pulled up was a daytime with the thermal camera.
Oh, can you get that to come up again, Grizzly? Yeah.
Yeah, I knocked it off.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
He was within like 30 yards of us,
Wow.
and only caught him on the thermal camera. We could not see him with our eyes.
Isn't that just amazing?
And he looks to me like an Indian shaman. It looks like he had a walking stick.
Oh, wow.
This is just a screenshot from my video. Mm-hmm. So my video footage, I'm moving a little bit, but you can see him moving, and he's either got a walking stick or a staff. And he looks to me like maybe an Indian shaman. I catch that sometimes too out there, like an old Indian shaman.
All right. So is that like
like from back in the past?
Human spirit? Do you think so? Is that what that is? A human spirit?
Yeah, human spirit. I think.
Okay.
I believe that's what it is. American Indian. Yeah.
Wow. I had got a pretty decent photo out of a screen capture out of a video. The same thing. It looked like an Indian or Native American, like a brave, like a warrior. I mean,
like
it was
a warrior. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like
I've caught a couple of them too, like that with my camcorder, and it looks like they have the face paint coming down.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Wow.
In our area where we're at now, there was Indian tribes all over Florida at one time, and after the American Indian Wars, all of Central Florida was a Seminole Indian reservation. So all of this area that we're actually researching in the Green Swamp had Seminole Indians living here at one time back, way back in the past. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So that would make sense.
Yep.
So what else?
Indian history here.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else can you tell us? What else do you want to talk about? Such great evidence. Oh my gosh.
Because my research is leading me more into wanting to know what the connection is with the orbs, the UFOs, and Bigfoot, and doing more research on that. Actually trying to communicate more with the Bigfoot and Sasquatch, trying to communicate more with them. Because I'm catching them on the thermal footage all the time. They're around us. They get close to us. We had one time where me and Waynette went out. We were out by ourselves, and we were walking down this trail that got really, really tight. It was a lot of brush on each side. And I was walking in front, filming, and Waynette said, "I just heard something." Oh, yeah. So when I turned around, she said it was right there. It was like within 4 to 5 feet of us. So I walked past her, walked back back there filming with the thermal camera and looking. I couldn't see nothing with my eyes, but she had heard it moving. So when I look in my thermal footage, you can see a pretty good face giving off the black heat.
Wow.
And it looked like a young juvenile.
Oh my
He was right there within 5 feet of us.
And he also has been hit with infrasound more than once. And
Okay.
Yeah, I've been hit with infrasound actually twice.
I never have.
Okay.
Yeah, one time when I was hunting years ago, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what was causing it, but I knew it wasn't right because I was out hunting, and I hunted night or day. It didn't matter. I've been out hunting at night a lot, and I've hunted by myself a lot. I'm not afraid of anything out there. I know all the animals, but something was making me feel anxiety, making me feel dread, like I needed to leave. And I kept thinking, well, what's causing this? This is not right. And I did stay, and I kept hunting, and nothing happened, but something was causing that.
Wow.
So now, a couple of years ago, I got hit with it again, and I actually started filming and watching us, and I was trying to pinpoint it and tell where it was coming from, because after a little bit, I can usually pinpoint it, and I'll keep filming that direction, and then I can go back home and look at my film footage.
Wow.
So when I started actually feeling what direction it was coming from, Waynette all of a sudden started pointing that way and said, "I seen something move. You need to film that direction." And I was getting that anxiety, that dread. I was thinking about pulling my gun out because I felt like a bear was charging me.
Oh.
And I had Waynette and a couple other ladies or friends that were with us, and it did not affect them at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just me. And I was thinking about pulling my gun and being ready for it because it felt like a bear charging me. And I just I stayed calm, and I kept thinking, no, just keep filming that direction. I know what it is. I know what's causing it now, and just keep filming that direction. And
Wow. Do you think that it was maybe sensing your, like the male energy, and you would have been the biggest threat out of the group? Do you think that's
probably what it was.
possible.
Yeah, it probably had family right there,
Yeah.
and that's probably why he was doing it. It probably had family. Yeah, it was probably a male doing that. Yeah.
Making sure that he kept you in line. Amy wants to know, any sense of tribal resentment in any of your encounters?
No, because only those couple of times that I've been hit with infrasound, nothing else has ever been aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
They get really close to us. I see them on the thermal camera, sometimes on our video camera footage. They get pretty close. I've had actually Waynette filming over my shoulder. She caught one moving, and it comes up in the palmettos. You can see his head really good. Yeah. And then she panned around to me a little bit, and then when she panned back over my shoulder, he was gone because I had actually started walking towards him. Mm-hmm. So when she panned back around, he was gone. So yeah, I mean they're not aggressive here other than those couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I feel with infrasound, and it sounds like a relatively mild. They were just kind of giving you a little warning.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And then back in March,
mm-hmm.
back in March, we went to the Hillsborough River with some friends, and we were out at night. We spent like 3 days there. We were going out at night. I was getting back up before daylight, getting out there filming before daylight. Mm-hmm. We were going out during the day. So I found this one area that we wanted to research, and we went out there, and right before dark, we actually got set up by a little river that we were going to want to sit at. And our friend Pam from Bigfoot World, she actually seen something walk by us that looked like a human figure. And she come running over to me, like tapping me on my shoulder, trying to stay quiet, and said, "Come over here. I just seen one walk by." And she was trying to figure out if it could have been somebody else in our group that had come around our area walking by us that shouldn't have been there, because we all had designated areas that we were going to and sitting at. And I went up and was filming with the thermal camera, and I can see a couple of my thermal camera footage. The one that she saw walk by, I'm pretty sure I'm seeing him down the trail just a little bit, standing there watching us, because he's about the right height. We did a reenactment. Pam went over. I stood where Pam had been, and Pam went out on the trail and walked by where it had walked. and we figured it was about 5 foot tall. Yeah.
Wow.
And there's so that night, late that night, we were actually walking back towards camp about midnight. We were walking back, going down the trail towards camp, and I was in the lead. I was leading, going back, and I had already used up all my batteries and footage and stuff. So I wasn't filming going back because I had already filmed so much anyway. So I'm using my green flashlight that I use for tracking. I use that in front of me. So I'm feeling over on the right side of us. I'm feeling that we're being watched. And because of being hit with the infrasound before, I could feel it had a little bit of infrasound mixed in it. I was getting that feeling like, okay, we're being watched. Now I'm feeling a little bit of infrasound mixed in it. So I'm not feeling like being threatened or nothing like that. I'm just feeling that little bit of extra in the being watched. So I get up the trail a little bit and I see a young male, I say a male, a young red juvenile. I see him on my left side take off running. He was up in front of us a little bit watching us, and I seen him take off running. And they run so fast. I've seen them run. That's the second time I've seen them running.
Wow.
And they run so fast. It's like superhuman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
like
what
superhuman. Yeah, there's no animals out there that run like that.
Wow.
And actually, I seen him in my flashlight. He was a young male, probably 5 foot, 6 foot tall, maybe at that if that much. But he was red. I could definitely see his red color.
And you could see him through your camera?
With my flashlight. No, just with my flashlight.
Wow, that's wow.
Yeah,
That's
because I
unusual.
wasn't actually filming at the time. We were walking back. Yeah.
Do you think that do you think that they have abilities or whatever that they can, make it that sometimes we can't see them like you're saying,
I
but then
do.
sometimes
I
people can
think
see?
it has a lot to do with their hairs. Because a lot of the hairs I'm finding has a lot of clear in it. I think they can bend the light. Like I know there's the military now has a ghillie suit that bends the light, so the soldier will look invisible or be cloaked. And I think they actually do that with their hairs. I think their hairs bend the light around them, and then you can't see them. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Plus, I think they move through portals and dimensions as well.
Okay.
I believe that a lot too because of all my research. And I've been showing too a lot. NASA has come out and said that portals are real and that they have a scientist at a university studying the portals and how to find them. Yeah. And all the physicists, the quantum physicists, they have all came out within the last years and saying that there's 11 dimensions. They said there's 11 dimensions and maybe more.
Wow.
Yeah. So all that science now, it's scientists coming out and saying that, NASA coming out and saying that. Yeah. And
it opens up a whole new,
Amy's asking, did they run or did they like skip along the ground like their feet didn't touch the ground?
No, this one ran. Yeah, he wasn't. He didn't seem like he was on all fours. No, he ran. Yeah, but he started off in a crouched down position because he was on like at the very edge of the trail, kind of up in the palmettos a little area of palmettos where it was kind of clear where he could kind of almost off the trail a little bit. And I seen him right there, and he took off running. It's like he stood up as he was running.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm somebody with no experience, right? No knowledge. And you had to tell me what they are. What would you tell me?
I think they're people. I think they're a different type of people than we are. And from some of the studies that I think are real studies that from the DNA, I think they are part human and part something else, maybe alien or something from another star system. But I think they are a type of human, and I think they do have abilities that we don't have. I think they have abilities to move through the portals or the dimensions. I think they have the cloaking abilities that we don't have. And at times, I think they are here flesh and blood because I think they're here hunting a lot. And I think while they're actually hunting, I think they are flesh and blood. And but I think they're just able to use the stuff that we're just now getting to the quantum physics is actually being able to tell us why they're changing their vibrations to be able to move through into portals. They're changing their vibrations or their frequencies. And I think a lot of that is really starting to be answered now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we're trying to move more of that direction with our research too.
Yeah, makes sense. And there's definitely a lot of evidence to come. Obviously you two are familiar with Ron Moorhead and his
Yes.
books. Just
I sure
fascinating.
do. Yeah. That's one of the things too that got me into the quantum physics.
Wow. Yeah.
Is his book. Yep. He spent 2 years. He spent 2 years researching that before he actually wrote the book. And that book actually has more about quantum physics than it does Bigfoot in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are a couple other books I've been reading. I'm getting into it. So this is quantum physics for beginners. There's a couple of books like that you can get and read. There's a lot of videos on YouTube where you can learn about quantum physics. And like I said earlier, you don't have to actually learn the math part of it. You don't have to worry about the equations. It's just getting the ideas of how things are working with the quantum physics, how particles are working, how the all the real small things are working like that. That like our bodies vibrate at a certain frequency, and I think their bodies vibrate at a different frequency.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think that's why we're not getting good, clear pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you're taking pictures or video, if the Bigfoot are like off to the side, actually catch them.
Yeah.
Have some that are pretty decent photos because of that.
Yes.
And I think if you try to center it, you're not going to get a good photo. You're going to get it blurry. It's because their bodies vibrate differently than we do. Yeah, and I think that's part of their abilities that they have that maybe we even had at one time, a long time ago. I think our DNA has been changed over the years. And I think we've actually been here a lot longer than scientists are telling us. And I think our DNA has been changed, and we may have had those abilities a long time ago. And that those abilities too, they may be more of a like a spiritual or like something more with the earth. They're closer to the earth than we are. We're more of like technology based. We're getting up and going to work every day. We're buying stuff at the stores, driving cars. Where they're more in the woods. They're in the trees. I think we're a little different because we're not like maybe we had those abilities at one time.
Yeah, we're lost them. Yeah.
Yeah,
we're relying on, like you said, cars and
cars and transportation
and to go to the grocery store, get your food or whatever. So yeah.
And then we're being told that stuff does not exist.
Yeah.
So for people with not getting any evidence and been out there for years, what's your advice for them?
My advice is go with your gut instincts. Watch people's videos, look at their pictures or footage, but go with your gut instincts. If you think it's not real, then just pass it on and go off and go somewhere else and look at something else and just go with your gut instincts. And if you think something's real, watch their videos. If you think they're really telling the truth, usually you can tell if people are like telling the truth. And then you just have to decide for yourself if it's real or not. But also I can tell you to get out in the woods, go out in the woods and take pictures. Just take a whole bunch of pictures. Just get out there and spend some time in the woods and listen. Do a lot of listening, especially to the birds. Listen for any small sounds of something moving around. Sometimes they'll come close to you. You can hear them cracking branches when they're walking. You can hear them whistling sometimes. It'll be a really human sounding whistle, not just a bird. But also listen to the birds because the birds sometimes will give them away. Sometimes the birds will do a distress sound when something gets close to them.
Yeah.
And you can tell that's where they are because of the birds. Yeah. So get out in the woods, listen, take pictures, learn about the animals in your area. Yeah.
Not only that, I always recommend knowing the animal sounds.
Yes.
What they sound like during the day what
Yeah.
they sound like during the night,
Yeah.
and when they sound off, and what they mean. You know, like if they are distressed, mating calls, or whatnot. Because I still get a lot of animal sounds. They're like, "What is this?" And it's like, "Oh, it's a baby fox, right?" So,
Yeah, but a lot of the
or
animal
a
sounds
bobcat,
confuse.
right? And
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know what that is, and it scares the
raccoons
dickens out of
fighting.
them. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a
wonderful.
good. Yeah, good advice.
Yeah, and you can get apps, and you can also find YouTube videos that tells you the animals. It'll give you the animal sounds. Yeah, yeah. So that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, well, this has been fantastic. You guys is there anything else that you want to share with us before we wrap the show up? Because I want to make sure you have.
I have quite a few apps that I've been showing too that I like to use out in the woods.
Oh, great.
Since we're talking about the birds, the Merlin app is by Cornell University.
Okay.
And you can use that. You can take a photo of a bird and it'll tell you what bird it is. You can let it listen to the sounds. And as it's picking up the bird sounds, it'll tell you which birds it is.
Wow.
We had one of the times here when we were out a while back, we had one of our friends was using that Merlin bird app at night. And he was trying to pick up a sound that they were hearing that sounded like a human mumbling sound. They were saying it sounded like Barney Rubble mumbling.
Yeah.
You could, it sounded like a person, but you couldn't really actually understand what they were saying. He said it showed up on the Merlin app as Homo sapien.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. He said it didn't show a bird; it showed Homo sapien.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
if I had that app the other night, it probably said, "Run, grizzly, run!"
Yeah,
That's cool.
But I have one app like that. I have an app that gives off the sounds like for healing, the vibration sounds for healing.
Oh, what's the name of that app?
That
sounds like
I got it right here. Let me look real quick.
Paranormal Pixie saying it's a Cornelian app.
Okay, it's the tone generation.
You got it?
Yeah, I was talking to somebody last night, Tim, and we had one scream, and it sounded like it was in pain. And I was laying on my chase last night, and I was talking to somebody like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I can still hear that damn thing screaming." And I was like, "I never heard one like that before." And I've heard a lot of sounds, but this was like awful, and it did it like 5 times. And it was just like back to back. And it was not human. It was not human at all.
Yeah.
And Tim Gayhart from Ohio was with me. And he took me out up there near Lake Erie. And it was wild. But so we don't know what it was. We know what it was. We don't know why it was that way. But, yeah. What was the app? Everybody's asking us.
What was that app again? Was it
Tone Generator? Tone Generator.
Okay.
Yep. I use that. I use that Merlin Bird app.
Okay.
I have a couple apps that I use for my drone when I'm flying my drone. That it'll give me the wind speeds where I'm at.
Yeah.
It'll give me stuff like that. The sunrise, the sunset. Also use the Solinar. I check the Solinar dates too for hunting, and I'll use that a lot in the woods too. I'll try to be out at the times where like the major feeding times for animals, so there'll be more animals out, because I think they do follow the wild hogs, and I'll try to use apps like that too, so I can be out in the woods at those times. I've actually caught a family of otters on my thermal camera because of that.
Have you ever used that pig rub?
What's that?
The pig rub?
Oh no, I haven't. No.
I want to buy some. I don't have pigs or hogs in my area. I want to know what it's going to attract. So,
yeah,
just curious.
Yeah. It's a good,
Yep. They do have like the game calls, like you were talking about earlier. The sounds, the animal sounds. See, a lot of hunters use game calls, like the bucks and does and fawns. We have calls and we know what all their sounds mean. So you can sit there and actually talk to the deer with the grunt calls, because we know what they sound like, what they mean. Same way with turkey hunting. With turkey hunting, I have a bunch of different kinds of turkey calls and we know what all the different sounds mean from the turkeys, so we can actually sit there and talk to the turkeys and try to call them in close to us. But you can actually sit there and talk to the animals because you know what their sounds mean. Yeah. And that's something too here. When you're getting sounds like that, you don't really know what it means.
A Bigfoot Outlaw and our distributors are not responsible if you call in a mean Bigfoot, because hunters actually call in Bigfoots deer hunting.
Yeah.
And we had one guy we played a video on a Wednesday night show. Remember that bow hunter? He was using his deer antlers. Remember bow hunting?
Uh-huh.
And Bigfoot come trampling through the woods. Thought it was $2 and fighting. He was like dinner time.
Yeah.
And when he come through the woods, he was like, "Where's the deer?"
Yep.
And he, no deer. And he saw the hunter. He was like, "What is that?" Because he was in a ghillie suit, didn't know what it was at first.
Yeah.
And when he realized it was a human being, oh, he got mad.
Oh.
And he chased the human out of the woods. That guy never went back.
Wow.
So
Yep.
And that was in Kentucky.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Yeah. Gosh.
So I'm just saying, if you play with those calls, ladies and gentlemen,
That's right. Yeah.
you know, I played the Sierra Sounds up in Ohio, and Tim about fell off his chair.
Yeah, I was. Oh God, because Ron Moorhead himself says, "Do not go out."
I really thought Tim saw me get my call blast because it's got little lights on my big speaker. And when that thing went off, he had my night vision.
Yep.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I got to play that video on Wednesday when he comes on. But yes,
Now
it was
we get EVPs also sometimes. We'll get voices on our camera footage. There was one day where I pulled out a deer call, and I was showing it to Waynette, and I said, "Here, this is my deer call," and you can hear a woman's voice very plainly say "deer call."
Wow.
Yeah, and there's been other times, like when we were looking for a tree stand, and we found it, and you can hear a woman's voice clearly say, "There she is."
Wow.
And it sort of sounds like a whisper, but you can make out what it
You
says.
can make out
That's
what
what
it
they're
says,
saying,
yeah.
or she's saying.
Mhm.
It sounds like a woman.
And I've had a few
Wow.
times it's a man's voice saying something.
Wow.
I had
Wow.
one time we were walking down a trail and we seen this little structure, and we were like, "Well, that's too small to be a structure." But when I listened to my audio on my camera, my camcorder, when I was watching that,
Mhm.
you can hear a man's voice saying, "I cannot believe I'm out here." Yeah, you can hear it
Oh.
pretty plain. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Well,
said,
what
"I
does that
cannot
mean?
believe I'm out here."
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Uh-huh.
This has been so fascinating. I'm gonna have to have you guys on if that's okay again, because it's
Yeah,
like,
it sure is.
wow,
Yeah.
that hour just flew by.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, we sure will. Yeah.
Wow. So we'll get that scheduled after the show. And thank you guys again.
Okay.
Any final questions or thoughts, Grizzly?
Yeah, there's one more
No,
thing
it's
I
been
wanted
great.
If
Go ahead,
it's
Tim.
okay, I have one more thing I wanted to say too.
Sure, please.
When we were out here recently doing all those experiments and stuff,
Mhm.
our friend Chris, he's actually using a GPS that connects to the satellites. So we're out there walking around because we were trying to get to one place that was that the elevation was a lot higher than Florida is supposed to be.
Okay.
So when we're out there walking around trying to get to it, we couldn't actually get to it because it got so thick and it got too dangerous with water moccasins, where we couldn't actually get to it. We got pretty close. We had one area that started showing we were 197 feet above sea level, where most of everywhere we are here in Florida is about 90 foot above sea level. It was showing we were 197 feet above sea level. As we were moving around in there, it showed we were 300 feet above sea level.
My gosh.
And then as we kept moving around, it showed we were 80 feet underground. Yeah, the GPS that connects to the satellites. Yeah, so we had a lot of stuff like that that's coming up on our videos and the documentary.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So
Oh,
it's gonna
cool.
be a lot of interesting stuff to watch.
Yes. Yeah. That's excellent. All right. So everybody, go and check out Tim T in Florida on their YouTube, and Bigfoot and Cryptid Researchers with Tim T and Waynette. In Florida. Yep. This has just been great. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having us on.
No, absolutely. And from coast to coast, around the world. Now have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks so much. Have a great night. Bye-bye. Thanks, everybody. Bye,
Bye-bye.
Grizzly.